What's going on, duelists? It's your boy Nick, bringing you a combo tutorial and test hand video for my Illusion Melffy deck profile, or Chimera Illusion Melffy deck profile, if you so choose to call it that, post Legacy of Destruction. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. My name is Nick. We do Yu-Gi-Oh! Content mainly focused around rogue and casual decks alike. If that's the kind of Yu-Gi-Oh! That you're interested in, then I highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of my uploads. We just reached our 1,500 subscriber goal, and we are now working our way to our 2,000 subscriber goal, and I need your help to get there. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and you do not want to miss out on the amazing content that I have coming your way. So, Illusion Melffy. Illusions in Legacy Destruction got some very insane support, and I will leave a link in the description below for the profile for this deck list if you want to check that out. But this deck has some really amazing synergies and really cool combos that I would like to showcase for you here in this video. I know a few of you in the profile asked me how the combos work, so I wanted to make this video for those of you who are interested. And like I said, the combos are very cool. There's some really cute things you can do with this deck, no pun intended. Obviously, I know all the Melffys are extremely cute and adorable, but trust me when I say that they pack one heck of a punch, and your opponent is not going to see it coming at all. So with that being said, we're going to start off with a simple combo here, mainly utilizing Obedience Gold plus either Kodal or Baphomet. You could have, these two cards are interchangeable for this combo. It could be one or the other. It really doesn't matter. You could either have Baphomet itself or have the Kodal. So, but for the purposes of this particular combo, again, we'll just start with Kodal and Obedience Gold. We'll make it simple. So, Obedience Gold states, if you control no monsters, activate it, special summon 3 beasts. Level 2 or lower beast effect monsters with different names from your deck. So, we're going to summon out a Wally. We are going to summon out a Kalantosa. And I guess we'll just bring out a Fenny. Really doesn't matter here. So, we're going to bring out these 3 beast monsters. Now, for the rest of this turn, we cannot special summon monsters except beast monsters. However, that is not an issue whatsoever for this deck, and I'll explain why momentarily. You just got 3 free link material, or synchro material, or Xyz material, for no drawback, outside of you being locked into Beast, which again, for this deck, is a non-issue anyway. So what you can do from here is, the world's your oyster. It's almost endless. If you so choose, you can overlay the Wally and the Kalantosa for an Xyz monster in Joyous Melffys. And this card is really, really powerful. Basically, during your opponent's turn as a quick effect, you can target a beast Xyz you control, which would be itself, return it to the extra deck, and then you can revive beast monsters from your level 2 or lower beast monsters from your grave up to the number of materials this monster had. Now, what's cool about this is that because he himself is a beast, you will trigger the Kalantosa when it's revived, not forcing it, but being able to target a card on the field and destroy it, and then also Wally will come back, basically making the Wally and Kalantosa live. And then at this point, what you can do, if you want to go down this line, you can just go Kodal effect, discard, and now you're going to search out a Big Wing Baphomet from deck to hand, because even though you can't special summon except beast monsters, it doesn't say anything about normal summoning. So what you'll do here is you'll tribute the Fenny to go ahead and tribute summon Baphomet. Since he's a level 5, he just requires 1 tribute of a monster to be summoned. And then you'll trigger Baphomet's effect to not only search for Gazelle, but also Chimera Fusion in the process. And you can kind of already see how you're setting yourself up here really, really well. You're going to have double disruptions, actually triple disruptions off the Joyous line, because you're going to pop a Kalantosa while also establishing Wally. And then Wally will just simply tag into Puppy and Caddy, giving you even more fuel to the fire, so to speak. So really cool there. And then now you can pretty much go down your normal Chimera line. However, if you did not want to make Joyous Melffys, the other option you have, let's rewind this a tad bit. The other option you have, and this is why, circling back, why it doesn't matter whether you have Kodal or Baphomet, this combo works the same. Because if you've already had Baphomet, Obedience Gold and Baphomet, you just do the same thing. You'll overlay 2 of the monsters, and the remaining monster you'll just tribute summon the Baphomet. It's just nice that Kodal can also get to Baphomet as well, further increasing this combo's consistency. But circling back, if you don't want to make Joyous, one of the things you can actually do here, even though we're still beast locked with Obedience Gold, this is also still possible. You can link off the Kalantosa and the Wally for a copy of Cross Sheep, because Cross Sheep is still a beast. So you're still abiding under the restriction that Obedience Gold places you on. And then what'll happen here is you'll just tribute the remaining monster to normal summon the Baphomet. Baphomet triggers, searching you Gazelle and Chimera Fusion. So if you didn't want to exceed summon, for example, you can still make the cross sheep with this line. And then what you'll do here is you'll go Chimera Fusion using the Baphomet on field, the Gazelle in the hand. Now, again, we are beast locked through Obedience Gold, so you're not going to be able to use Baphomet's effect to reborn an illusion. But you'll summon out the Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, who is still a beast monster. So again, you're still abiding by the Obedience Gold's restriction. But in this case, you'll actually trigger the Gazelle effect in the graveyard since it was used as fusion material. And then you'll go King of Phantom Beasts effect as Chainlink 2 to chain block to hand rip your opponent during the end phase. And you'll go Gazelle to add something like a Sword Knight, or depending on what's in your hand, if you need a discard outlet, you can also search for the newly released Nightmare Apprentice from Legacy of Destruction. In this combo, though, we're just going to grab Sword Knight, so we have follow-up. And then what will happen is, because we went ahead and fusion summoned to the zone that Crossy pointed to, we did this a little bit backwards, but basically it would be like Chainlink 1 Gazelle, Chainlink 2 Cross Sheep, Chainlink 3 Phantom Beast, if you so wish. But we can go Cross Sheep to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from our graveyard back to our field, so we can use the Cross Sheep to go ahead and revive back our copy of Wally, effectively. Keep in mind we have Sword Knight in hand, and then because we control a monster whose name is Chimera King of Phantom Beast, we can go Chimera Fusion using its grave effect to add itself back to the hand, and then we can go ahead and set the Chimera Fusion and go ahead and pass turn. Not only do we have a follow-up for next turn and a starter with Sword Knight, but we have really good disruption on their turn, because during their turn, we're going to go ahead and use our Chimera Fusion to fusion summon again, you know, using the Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, and maybe even the Sword Knight in our hand, for example, to go into something like the Baphomet, Mythical King of Phantom Beasts, to our side of the field. Not only putting the Sword Knight in grave, making its negation live, because we still control a monster whose name becomes Chimera, the King of Phantom, the Flying Mythical Beast, but because we summon it to his own Cross Sheep points, Cross Sheep can trigger again to go ahead and summon out our copy of Kalantosa from the graveyard. And then since Cross Sheep's still a beast and Kalantosa was summoned by it, Kalantosa still gets the effect of pop. Wally would still trigger because it's all live and you summon Puppy Caddy. So you can kind of see how quickly this starts to snowball. And that was literally off of just a 2-card line, starting with Obedience Gold and Kodal or Obedience Gold and Baphomet, which I think is really, really cool. And again, you played all that under the restriction of Obedience School's, you know, special summon Beast Lock, which didn't even hinder us in the slightest. Also, even if you're going second into an established board and you want to Obedience School, it's not even a problem for us, simply because we can just go for a Guardian Chimera line, because he also is a beast monster. So there's a lot of like things we can do, even though Obedience School locks us. I know a lot of people see this and they're like, oh, this card is bad in an Illusion Chimera deck, but it's really not. As long as you have the monsters to play with it, which in this case we're using the Melffy engine, you can actually get extremely far using these cards. Now, the next combo I wanted to showcase for you guys will be featuring the Nightmare Apprentice, plus any discard. Really doesn't matter what it is in the grand scheme, it's just anything. Ideally, a crazy combo would be like, in a perfect world, you'd have Edge Chain in the hand, and then you'd be able to go Apprentice, pitch Chain, and then just go completely off. You know what? I think I will show this to you guys. Even though, like, we play 3 Edge Chain, so it's pretty likely that, you know, we'll see it in our opener. But, you know, this would be like the best case scenario discard, but it's nice that Apprentice can pitch anything. But for the purposes of this combo, let me show you what Edge Chain plus Apprentice can do. So, we're going to have Apprentice in the hand. We're going to use her effect, non-activated effect, by the way, discarding a card to special herself for free. And then on her special summon, we can trigger her effect as Chainlink 1, and then Edge Chain is Chainlink 2 since it was sent from hand to grave. Or we can invert that and go Edge Chain, Chainlink 1, Apprentice, Chainlink 2, depending on what we want to chain block, based on how the rest of our hand looks. You know, whatever effect we value more, we can actually insulate by using the other one in front of it. To protect ourselves from cards like Ash, for example, which is obviously very nice. But because this is just a combo and we're not playing through Disruption, I just want to show you what the combo does undisrupted. So we'll go Chainlink 1 Apprentice, Chainlink 2 Chain. Chain will grab us a Patchwork, and then Apprentice will grab us any Illusion monster from the deck to our hand. So let's go ahead and grab out a Sword Knight. Then, at resolution of all that, we can actually activate the Patchwork, adding us not only a Polymerization, but an Edge Imp monster from the deck to our hand. The Patchwork package in this deck is just so powerful. Then what we can do here is normal summon the Sword Knight effect, tributing itself to special summon a monster from our deck that mentions Chimera Fusion, which will be the Baphomet. Then Baphomet effect, searching out a Gazelle plus a Chimera Fusion to our hand. And now you can kind of see like how this 2-card combo is starting to really explode. I mean, we're just getting free value everywhere. Note that, you know, we're not beast locked because we didn't have obedience gold for this combo, so we can take this really, really far. We can actually go Chimera Fusion using the Baphomet plus the Gazelle. We'll go into the King of Phantom Beast again, using those 2 monsters, and then we'll go Chainlink 1 Gazelle, Chainlink 2 Baphomet, target Sword Knight, Chainlink 3 Chimera to hand rip, and then we insulate our line by chain blocking. So during the end phase, the opponent will lose a card. Off the Baphomet, will resolve his effect to special Sword Knight back, and then off the Gazelle, we can actually search for another illusion from the deck to our hand, which can be a couple of things. Let's go ahead and grab a Nightmare Magician in this case, which I think is a very cool card. And then we can use Graveyard Effect or Chimera Fusion to add back, since we control a monster whose name becomes Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast on field. And you can kind of see, again, we're still swimming in a lot of advantage. We still have a 4-card hand and 3 bodies on field, despite us only opening 2 cards. So this deck just produces so much advantage for relatively free, honestly. It's not like we're going out of our way to do any of this. It just combos really well. And then pretty much from here, we can go Polymerization. We'll hold the Chimera Fusion in hand, since it's not once per turn to fuse, but it's once per turn to add back, and I want to keep this as a disruption on our opponent's turn. So we'll use the Polymerization itself here, and we can go... let's go Chimera the King of Phantom Beasts. We'll keep Nightmare Apprentice on field. Let's go Chimera King of Phantom Beasts and Nightmare Magician in the hand. We will make ourselves a copy of the Baphomet, the mythical King of Phantom Beasts. Then on his summon, we can activate his effect, allowing us to send a Beast Fiend or Illusion monster from our deck to the graveyard. Our target for that will be our Master Tau the Chanter, triggering Master Tau's effect, since it was sent to grave, to special summon back an Illusion monster from our grave in defense position. So now we actually get back our Nightmare Magician here, which is an amazing disruption that our opponent has to play through. Not only is he a non-target pop, but he's also a snatch steal on legs, and has the illusion clause of, you know, none of these cards can be killed by battle, which just makes them that much more annoying to deal with. And now we can actually take our Chimera Fusion, set it, and basically pass turn. And then on the opponent's turn, we can go Sword Knight in the draw phase, just go ahead and shotgun it, tributing it so we can put it in grave, so we can go ahead and special summon out another Big Wing Baphomet from our deck, if, of course, I can find it. Every time you try and look for something, it's not there. There it is. Special summon another Baphomet, and then we'll trigger Baphomet effect to search out another Gazelle and another copy of Chimera Fusion from the deck to our hand, just giving us even more follow-up. So now our hand would be Chimera Fusion, Edgem Chain, Gazelle, and then this is what we have on our field. We have both Sword Knight in the graveyard for the monster negate, since we control a monster whose name is Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast. And then during the opponent's turn, again, we can even push this even farther. We have Chimera Fusion that we can use to go ahead and make a Guardian Chimera, for example. Let's just assume we burned the Sword Knight negate already, so which means that we don't really need to maintain this on board anymore. We can actually use this card, use the Baphomet. How do we want to do it? I guess, yeah, we can use... let me see. Yeah, we'll use him, Baphomet, and then we can actually use the Edgem Chain in our graveyard as part of the material. So it's 3 monsters with different names. You then go ahead and summon out Guardian Chimera, and then you can pick your chain links as such. We'll go Chainlink 1 Baphomet, target Master Tau the Chanter in our graveyard to revive back. And then we can go Chainlink 2 Edgem Chain, and then Chainlink 3 Guardian Chimera. Obviously, well, the chain order is all backwards, but I mean, you kind of get the gist here. You'll resolve Guardian Chimera to either you'll pop 2 cards, draw 1 because you use 2 material from field. You're going to get a search off of the Edgem Chain for another Patchwork, giving you yet even more follow-up on the subsequent crackback. And then you'll get a revival of Master Tau, which now if they out the Tau, he can float into another illusion from your graveyard, which currently you don't have, but again, it's just a free resource anyway. Plus, you can't be killed by battle, so you're just kind of walling up at this point. And then we'd get a draw off the Guardian Chimera, which gives us even more value. And you can kind of see how like this progresses in turns and kind of snowballs out of control for our opponents. So those are the two combos I wanted to showcase. Now, before we wrap up the video, I do want to show you guys a actual test hand so you can kind of get a more real-life idea of what this deck actually functions like. So allow me to pile shuffle the deck list very quickly, and we will get back to you guys shortly. Alright guys, now we're back. I just pile shuffled the deck for you guys. We're going to go ahead and shuffle just a little bit more. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content on the channel. Like I said, if you guys are not subscribed yet, feel free to. It doesn't cost you anything, and all you're going to do is benefit the channel, and it inspires me to continue bringing you guys really unique content like this. So we're going to go ahead and cut the deck just to prove that I'm not trying to stack. And we're going to play this hand out like we are going first. So we have a Big Wing Baphomet, DD Crow, Master Tile the Chanter, Melffy Hide and Seek, and a Melffy Puppy. So not the best hand, unfortunately, but sometimes that's the way it comes down in Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys already know, whenever you want to draw a playable hand, sometimes you just get bricked. To be fair, we really don't have much we can do here, unfortunately. We can activate Hide and Seek, then just go end phase, special Puppy from hand. And then obviously when the opponent normal or specials anything or targets Puppy for an attack, Puppy will bounce to hand, special summon a beast from deck, which will probably be Kalantosa, gives us a free pop. And then we also have a DD Crow to disrupt the opponent, but unfortunately this hand wasn't that great. So let's go ahead and try and pile shuffle this again, and let me bring you guys yet another test hand. Alright, we're back after pile shuffling. We're just doing a few more normal shuffles right now, just so we can get the deck nice and organized. And like I said, sometimes that's the way it happens. Sometimes you just brick. You could have the best deck in the room. Doesn't mean you won't brick or draw a suboptimal or a less than ideal hand. That's, part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly. So, I'm glad that I can show you guys this, because it really does give you like a real life representation of what the deck's like. So hopefully you guys enjoy the rawness, I guess, of the channel. But anyway, we're going to play this out again like we're going first. So we have Edgem Chain, Big Wing Baphomet again, Kalantosa, Edgem Chain again, and a Cornfield Codal. Alright, so this hand is definitely better than the first one. However, still kind of not the best. It's weird that we keep drawing a lot of like one-ofs and stuff, like Kalantosa here, for example. But this is still playable. So we got Codal, so at least we have a starter. We can pitch Codal and search for a monster that mentions Chimera Fusion from deck to our hand, which will be a copy of Mirror Sword Knight. In this case, I guess because we already have Big Winged in hand, we could also try searching for Gazelle if we wanted to do it that way, but I think the Sword Knight's a little bit safer, just because he has a quick effect to tag out. But either way, this hand still gets cooked by an Ash, unfortunately. But again, sometimes that's how it breaks down. So, normal summon Sword Knight effect. If the Ash was here, we pretty much cry. But we'll go Sword Knight if it resolves, and that will allow us to special summon a monster from our deck that mentions Chimera Fusion, which will be a copy of Big Wing Baphomet from the deck. Trigger Baphomet effect, searching not only Gazelle, but also Chimera Fusion. And now you can kind of see how we can start unbricking our hand a little bit. We will go Chimera Fusion. I think we'll keep the Baphomet on the field, actually. How do we want to do this? Yeah, I think we'll keep Burf on field. We're going to go Chimera Fusion using Gazelle and Edgem Chain in the hand, because Edgem Chain happens to be a Fiend monster, which is really strong. That allows us to make Chimera King of Phantom Beasts, and then we'll go Chainlink 1 Gazelle, Chainlink 2 Chain, Chainlink 3 Phantom Beast for the hand rip at end phase, and then obviously Chimera Fusion's in the grave. Edgem Chain will search us for a Patchwork from the deck to our hand, and then Gazelle will search us for an Illusion monster, which I think we can actually grab Nightmare Apprentice here. That way you guys can see how we weave her into the combo. And then, like I said, during the end phase, we'll hand rip the opponent for free. Use Chimera Fusion's effect to add itself back, since we control a fusion who mentions the name that they are looking for. We can then go Patchwork, searching for another chain. This is why we play 3. And a Polymerization. Like I was saying, this is why we play 3 chain. It's not often you open double chain, but let's just assume that you did. The Patchwork line is dead. That's why we play 3 of it. So now you can actually see, like, look at our hand. Like, we have how many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. 8. Like, this deck just craps out advantage like it's 9 to 5. Really, really insane. Patchwork actually goes to grave, so I think it's 1, 2, yeah, 7 cards, excuse me. But you get the gist. I mean, it's still all free value here. Now what we can do is we can go polymerization, fusing away the Baphomet, and I guess, yeah, we don't need the Calantosa in the hand, so let's just fuse away these two to go ahead and make ourselves a copy again of the Baphomet, the mythical king of phantom beasts. That will trigger our effect of our Baphomet to target our Sword Knight, while also triggering the effect of Baphomet on field to dump. So we'll revive the Sword Knight and then Baphomet to dump a Beast Fiend or Illusion from deck to grave. There's a lot of options we have here. We can definitely set ourselves up for some interesting lines. We can dump something like Gogoyle, the Steel Seismic Smasher, which is another new card out of Legacy of Destruction. And then what we can do here is a few things. Keep in mind we are fusion locked because of Baphomet's effect. But again, you can actually just see how much value we have on the subsequent turn. We can set Chimera Fusion and then pass. We have our negates live because we control 2 monsters now whose names are Chimera, the Flying King of Phantom Beasts. So, we have Cold Engrave, and then during the opponent's turn, we can actually go Sword Knight, Tribute Sword Knight, so we can put it in the graveyard, and then we'll go ahead and special summon a monster who mentions Chimera Fusion. We only play 2 beasts, or I'm sorry, we only play 2 Baphomets, so we have to summon a Gazelle here, and then we can trigger Gazelle effect to search out another Chimera Fusion, just giving us even more follow-up for our turn. And then we have both the Sword Knight negate and the Codal negate engrave, which is really nice. And then if the opponent keeps pushing onward, we can actually go ahead and Chimera Fusion using pretty much whatever we want. We can go Chain plus Baphomet here, and we'll go Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. That will threaten a Guardian Chimera during the opponent's turn, which is very strong. And then we have a lot of graveyard effects that are going to trigger here. So we can go Chainlink. How do I want to do this? Chainlink 1 Guardian Chimera. Chainlink 2 Chain. Chainlink 3 Baphomet. Baphomet will actually revive our Gogoyle, the Steel Seismic Smasher. Very insane card. We'll go Chain to search for another Patchwork just to deck thin. The Patchwork line is dead now because we do have all the Edgem Chains already in rotation, unfortunately. But again, it's just a free card. Could be a discard outlet for Apprentice on the subsequent follow-up. And then we have Guardian Chimera, who in this case we use 2 monsters from hand, 1 from the field. So we can actually get to draw 2 cards. I guess we can see what they are. Chimera Fusion and Melffy Puppy. And then we'll pop 1 on the board. And you can kind of see, again, we still have a 6-card hand, 4 monsters on the field. It's just a ton of value and a bunch of disruption. This is another really crazy illusion monster that basically states if a illusion monster battles, we can target one of our monsters that's banished or in our graveyard and special summon it for free. Any monster, doesn't have to be illusion specific. Also, too, we have another disruption because this will be during the opponent's turn. We have this card's graveyard effect where during the opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish this to target a Beast Fiend or Illusion in your graveyard and special summon it. We can actually use that to bring back our Calantosa here, which, because Calantosa is summoned by the effect of a beast, Calantosa will trigger to pop an additional card on the board. And then, of course, we'd get our draw for turn, and we start our next turn with 5 monsters on the field and like a 7-card hand. So you can, like I said, this deck just prints advantage for free. We could even add back Chimera Fusion using its own effect, and we have tons of follow-up. So that's going to wrap up the combos and test hands for my Illusion Melffy deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're working our way to 2,000 subs, and I need your help to get there. Definitely stay tuned on the channel. You do not want to miss out on the amazing content I have coming your way. I will link the deck profile in the description below of this video so you can check out the actual list that I'm running for this Melffy Illusion deck. But with that being said, this is Nick hitting that end phase. Peace.